right, we're back. We're gonna be talking some Suns Mavericks. Jordan, I'm ooping you the ball. Go, go dunk.
Don't look at me. First of all, before I start this, I have to say I am so glad Andrew was not able to join this freaking podcast today. I am so happy. That was
And tell
the
us why, Jordan.
Okay, so for our loyal listeners, me and Andrew had a bet on this game and I took the Suns. Um I mean, it was an absolute ass whooping start to finish. I I've never been more shocked by like a game 7, a playoff game. I don't even know how to
It was shocking.
how bad the Suns played on offense. And also, I'm so disappointed in Chris Paul. I talked about so much on this fucking podcast, dude. This is
so
what it's like.
disappointed.
I finally know what it's like to be in fucking sports media because this is my first prediction or take that I've given where I just look like an absolute fool.
Luka Magic, baby.
Dude, Luka Magic aside, Chris Paul.
Yeah, he played like shit. That was horrible.
He should be ashamed of himself. That that was unbelievably bad. Point guard. He's a point guard. Oh my.
Dude, yeah, the
dude.
worst part of this was fucking they went down 10. Jordan, Justin, and I were sitting in my fucking living room. We're all like, hey, there's no way the Suns lose this game. Let's all live bet the Suns money line. We're like, this is a fucking great idea.
Is
They
that the
go down
worst part?
30.
I think Jordan lost a lot more money.
Jordan lost a lot of like more respects, but I lost a lot of money. So I mean, we both lost lots of money. It was
That's
brutal. It was
unfortunate.
fucking brutal.
The money is neither here nor there. The fact that I lost to Feig and
You lost to Andy J,
That hurts.
dude.
I mean, and listen. Realistically, if Feig was on this podcast, we'd crucify him about his horrible takes about the Celtics.
Oh,
but that's neither here or there. That's neither
he's not going to listen to this pod, so I
we're
feel
talking about the
comfortable saying
Suns.
he doesn't know the game of basketball.
Jordan, just go off. Just go off.
Yeah. No. I want to go off on Feig on the Celts with him in person.
Okay. Violent.
Or not in person, with him on the pod. But
less violent.
I will hold my L. Good bet to you, Feig. And I want redemption. Double or nothing. Celtics will beat the Heat.
No, don't bet
Feig.
on the fucking Celtics with your horrible takes.
Whoa. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's completely
That is
fair.
not true. That's
completely fair.
I'm just
No, I don't care. Celtics are winning this series. Anyways,
we book it.
Christ.
Book it.
Dude, you're fucking
Max just
you're
had a
this
heart
bad
attack.
juju here, dude. That's not cool
Oh,
at
this is
all.
great juju.
Jordan's a hex.
This is great juju.
That's a hex, dude.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that 40-point blowout. We're going to talk about the Western Conference Finals coming up. So, Mavs versus Warriors. Who you picking, Buttsie?
I'm gonna pick the Warriors. I think that's kind of the obvious pick. I think a lot of people are gonna pick the Warriors, but I think there's a lot of reasoning behind picking the Warriors. I think the Warriors are the Mavericks and the Warriors, I think, are similar in the fact that they're both really complete teams. I think that the Mavericks have a lot of really good pieces that when they play well, they're fucking phenomenal. But they really rely on the role players a little too heavily. I think Luka's going to get his no matter what. I'm not really concerned about that. But I think the Warriors are going to show up more consistently night in, night out. I think the Warriors can give the Mavericks trouble in Dallas. I think the Warriors can take care of business on their home court, which I think is the big difference between the Warriors and the Suns. I think the Warriors can go to Dallas and compete. And if they say they win both at home and then they steal one in Dallas, they're up 3-1. I think the series is over then. So I think I really feel like the series is going to be over after 4 games. I think it's going to be a 3-1 Warriors. I think the Warriors can wrap it up within 6.
Who's going to guard Luka is my question.
It doesn't matter, Max. I really don't think it matters. I think if Luka gets his 40, the Warriors can still fucking win.
I picked maybe in our 3rd or 4th pod, I had the Warriors as my title favorites, and I'm sticking with them. But I do have a lot more concerns now than I did then. They turn the ball over a lot. They're not like this perfect fluid offense that I thought they were, in the regular season. And also Poole's been really struggling. I really hope
Mm.
Poole can figure it out because they're gonna need him as time goes on. The reason I'm picking the Warriors is because I think they just have more shot makers than the Suns did.
Yeah.
And their offense is just too explosive. I think there is going to be games though where the Warriors may get lose by 20 because they have games where they just can't hit shots, and those are the games that they lose. So I think the Mavs will win at least 2. Luka will definitely dominate. They can't guard him. They have a weak defense, but yeah, go ahead, Max.
How much do you value those last Suns wins for the Mavs? Because those defense, the last 2 games were lockdown. And that's big. Like if they can defend like that, I'm giving it to the Mavs. I'm sorry. Like if the Warriors, they do have a little weak spot. Clay isn't Clay anymore. Like he showed he was game 6, but they haven't had that. It was flashes. And Draymond, like he's really good defensively, but he's not great offensively. So that leaves it to Poole and Steph. And I mean, Poole's really good, but he's like you said, he's been struggling. And Luka, I'm not surprised. Luka scores 40 points very easily. Like that's a consistent thing, but he also assists on a lot of 40 and 10 is not a real unreal. A 40-10-5 game for Luka is like pretty. It's just, like that's just something that happens. Like I don't know. I get nervous with that. I don't like betting against Luka, but I also don't like betting against Steph Curry. I just think the Warriors are a little bit older, and it really depends. Like if this Mavericks defense is for real, like they were able to stop the Suns, but you can argue whether that was the Suns' inefficiencies in their own thing or whether that was the Mavs defense. That's a different thing. Like, I don't know if the Mavs defense is clicking on all cylinders, especially on the perimeter where the Warriors create a lot of their offense and they're able to lock down Draymond on that little penetration oop play that he does. Like, I don't know. It could be interesting, and maybe Luka just scores more than the other than the Warriors. Like that could happen. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the Mavs, I have to give them credit. They've played unreal defense.
Yeah.
The last, I think, 4 games, they played really good defense, especially on Chris Paul. But the reason I'm sticking with the Warriors is because they just hit shots. Like Steph is harder to guard than Chris Paul. He can shoot from literally anywhere immediately, and he can shoot with guys in his face from 30 feet. And the Warriors also, I think, as sloppy as their turnovers has been, when their offense is clicking, I don't think there's any defense for it. It's just the constant motion, the picks, back cuts, all that stuff. The Suns don't do that. That's very unique to the Warriors. So I think the Warriors win this in 6, maybe 7. Buttsie, how do you think the Mavs are gonna defend the Warriors, or how do you think the Warriors are gonna combat this Mavs defense?
I think that the Warriors are, like you said, Jordan, they have more shot makers and they're more skilled across the board, from center to obviously Steph at the point. I think that they're just going to make more shots. I really feel like the Mavericks defense isn't going to face the Warriors that much. I think the Warriors are just going to continue to be the Warriors. I mean, from 2016 to 2022, they played the same brand of basketball and have been insanely effective. So I really don't think that the Mavericks defense, even though it was great against the Suns, and we can talk about the Suns' inefficiencies and all that, but I really don't think that the Mavs defense is going to be a problem for the Warriors. I think the Warriors can still, dominate the Mavericks across the board, and I really think they're going to get it done within 6.
My pick for the series is, I'm gonna zigzag. I'm gonna zag, I guess. I'm gonna pick the Mavs. Why not?
Bold,
give a little
bold.
diversity. I think it's more of a bet on Luka than it is on the Mavs. I don't know. I think the player, usually the team with the best player in the playoffs, that player usually shines and can help pull his team to victory. Sometimes that's not the case. Like even with, you can argue with the Bucks series, Giannis was the best player in that series, but he couldn't do it. But I would argue that Milwaukee has a better, or sorry, not Milwaukee. Dallas has a better built team for Luka, obviously, than Giannis has for himself right now due to Middleton's injury. And I don't know if Dinwiddie, he played well tonight. If he can continue to play well, Brunson can continue to play well. Finney Smith has been playing really, really well. Kleber has been playing really well. Dwight Powell has been playing really well. Those are guys that are, I called him Norm Powell last time, but I fixed
Norman Powell.
Norman Powell. He's in Toronto, I think, right?
He's
in Portland now. He's in Portland, I think. Oh wait,
Yeah.
maybe he might be with the Pelicans. He might have gotten traded from Portland to the Pelicans. Either way,
He's good.
yeah, I like Norm Powell. But anyway, actually no, he's with the Clippers, I think.
That's true. You're right. You are right about
He's
that.
with the Clippers. Sorry.
We
All over the
got
place.
so off tangent there, fellas.
I got him mixed up. I got him mixed up with some people. We're not even. Yeah. So Dwight Powell, anyways, he's really good. He's been playing well. He's a better defender than I gave him credit for, and he has some better offense than I thought. Luka can really just. He's so. There should be a new term. He should be Luka centric. Like that's what the Mavericks are. They're just Luka centric. The entire offense flows through him, and he's so good that it works. Buttsie, what are your thoughts on that?
I was just gonna throw out a question for you guys. We've seen that the coaches have played a massive role in these playoffs, especially from we're looking at it from an analyst perspective. Budenholzer fucking up today. Ime with the defense in the
Dude,
first series and this series. I know. And then we have Jason Kidd. Obviously, the Mavericks wouldn't be there without Jason Kidd. What can Jason Kidd do defensively? I know I just kind of gave a brief overview of what I think the Warriors are going to do to the Mavericks, but Jordan, if anything, what can the Mavericks do specifically, getting into detail to slow down the Warriors?
So I think we saw in the Sun series, in the first couple games, it was kind of feeling it out, and it looked like the Suns were going to dominate. Even Max, after the first two games, was like the Mavs are not winning the series.
Yeah.
But we saw Jason Kidd adjust and figure out a game plan for Chris Paul and a little bit of Devin Booker too, but mainly trapping Chris Paul at the elbow, stuff like that. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I do think that Kidd has evolved as a coach, and he's going to, maybe not in the first couple games, but as the series goes on, he's going to find some way to slow down the Warriors, and maybe specifically for Steph, specifically for Poole. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an NBA coach, and I haven't seen, how the series is going to play out, but I do think Kidd will find ways to slow them down like he did in the Sun series. I just don't think it'll be enough.
So this is where it gets a little fishy for the Mavs, because what they did was they were doubling on the perimeter. They were doubling Booker whenever he touched the ball, and Chris Paul whenever he touched the ball, and Booker would get rid of the ball immediately. There was a couple of times where he would get the ball and get doubled, but as the guy was coming up, I would be like, this is a shot that Tatum would have shot, because the guy gave him enough space and time, but Booker wasn't shooting it. Steph is going to know how to handle a double team. That's the different that, like you mentioned that as well, between Chris Paul and Booker and Steph and Clay, is that they've been double, triple, quadruple teamed before, because if there's at one time those guys were a part of the best team in basketball at the point in time. Right. I don't know. They can handle. Yeah, they can. So they can handle a little bit of pressure like that. So, and also, I don't know. So one of the adjustments that we could get into is that maybe they don't double, and maybe they sit along the perimeter with their arms out still, but they don't double, because I think Steph is a little bit too fast for Finney Smith to pop out on the double, and he knows how to handle that. They don't have the greatest foot speed like Luka. They're not surrounded by super fast people. I mean, Brunson's pretty fast, but he's also pretty short and stocky too. I don't know. Clay has lost a step for sure, but Poole has not. Poole is extremely fast, and if they know how to handle a double team and they're able to break that, that's where it gets a little fishy for the Mavs. So that's something they need to work on.
I think that's a great point, and that kind of leads into what Jordan was saying and what you're saying as well. I don't think the Mavericks can afford to lose, guys. You can't afford to lose anybody on the Warriors team, because they'll hurt you in some way. Whether it's Kevon Looney scraping 22 boards in one fucking game, which was unbelievable. Whether it's Draymond getting the ball in open space and being able to make a play, or whether it's whether it's Steph, Clay, Poole, whoever it is, Otto, if he he's healthy. Is he coming back for the series? I believe.
I would assume he'd be back at some point.
Yeah, I agree. But Wiggins was knocking down threes. You can't afford to lose anybody on this Warriors team, because they'll fucking kill you. Which is why, that's why I kind of asked Jordan specifically, what could the Mavericks do? Because I don't think they can really do anything, because you can't afford to lose anybody, and I don't think they match up well with the Warriors.
Yeah, just to close out the point on that, the Sun series, Chris Paul is very ball dominant, and that's his game. That's what he does. For Steph, you can trap him all you want. He's gonna pass it, relocate, come off of 3 screens. He's gonna sprint in the circle. That's when the Warriors are impossible to guard.
Yeah. So
The
I'm
thing
saying maybe they
more
don't do
about-
that double. Maybe they sit at the perimeter
Oh,
and they all put their arms out. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like what
it'll
they
be
do
interesting.
before.
But then I don't think they still. I still don't think they match up well enough
Yeah,
to beat the
I just
Warriors. Is
think
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I think
Yeah.
Steph makes the Warriors way harder to guard than Chris Paul made the Suns. But the thing I'm worried about
That's
for
fair.
the Warriors is their defense. That's all. Like their defense and turnovers is what worries me. I don't see how they stop Luka and like yeah, what's up, Max?
Sorry, I just want to say so that I wanted to bring up Andrew Wiggins is actually a pretty big factor in this because if you
Yep.
recall, like he's a good defensive player, and if he can
That's true.
guard up on Luka a little bit, not that anyone can really guard Luka, but like he's fast enough where like he is good and physical. Like if he could actually, this is a big moment for him. I don't think he's going to step up to it because he has a history of not doing that. But like I could see like this is the position that he's being put in right now where he needs to be a factor for this team. And I think he's obviously going to have a hand in guarding Luka. So it's going to be interesting to see that matchup, see if he can actually do something.
Yeah,
But he also needs to hit shots.
stopping Luka is impossible for one
possible.
guy. Like
No,
we
but he
saw
could help
like Mikhail
Draymond and Steph.
Mikhail Bridges could have won Defensive Player of the Year, and he had no chance against Luka. I think
None.
one-on-one it's impossible. You have to do it as a team.
Yes.
But I don't even know how you do it as a team.
I think you do it by shutting down the role players. Realistically, just to keep this section or to keep the talk on this very brief. If you shut down the role players and you don't give them a chance to do anything, that takes a big part of Luka's game away because he's going to be great one-on-one, but he's not going to be 60 points or 50 points just off one-on-one stuff. He really relies on the role players to be an instrumental part of his game, whether it's hitting threes, even creating shots for him, giving Luka a step of space to where he can make a move, stuff like that. I think he relies on the role players.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Just out of curiosity, this is way ahead and just I'm not saying I think this is going to happen, but just out of curiosity, if the Celtics advance, who would you rather play, the Warriors or the Mavericks? Buttsie?
Mavericks. To me,
Mavericks.
it's not close. I don't think that the
I agree.
Celtics. I think the Celtics are. I know that we're kind of the small team in this series, and we just were like against the Bucks. But I think we're the bigger, stronger team against the Mavericks. And I think we could just bully them and just push them over.
I agree. I think the Mavs, because we've shown that we can handle phenomenal individual players, whereas the Warriors have multiple guys. And that's scarier to me when it's not just, we have to focus our game plan and play team defense to stop Giannis or KD or Luka. No, now you have to focus on stopping Steph, Poole, and Clay, and can't leave role players open because they can all shoot other than Draymond. So I'd much rather play the Mavs as well.
Yeah, the Warriors explosion. The Warriors explosion. Just to keep it brief. Scares me. The point how they can go from scoring, 0 points to being like 0 for 10 to going 10 for 10 and putting up 30. Like their explosion and their offensive talent, and defensive solidarity as well, just scares me.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting series. Hey, thank you for coming on, Buttsie, and you wanted to talk a little bit about the Gambling Couch podcast you have coming up.
Yeah, this is the week. This will be on Tuesday. Will be our first official public and published episode of the Gambling Couch podcast. We're going to be going over both conference finals games, both game ones, the Celtics and the Heat, as well as the Mavericks and the Suns. We're going to do spread breakdown. We're going to do total breakdown. We're going to do not podcast. We're going to do prop breakdowns as well as some baseball picks, props as well. Really looking forward to this. Getting this content out to you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome. I'm so excited. You guys are going to kill it. I can't wait. This is a big moment. I just can't wait to have more people on the network, and this is going to be awesome. So yeah, guys, check that out. It's going to be on the same feed as the Lub Cast. But yeah, it's going to be the Gambling Couch, and it's going to be Buttsie and Justin on it. They're going to be giving you some awesome picks. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be really fun. But yeah, thank you for coming on. That was a good talk. Everyone have good finals coming up, and yeah, we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.